Hello, I'm Donna Lowry, host of Lawmakers on Georgia Public Broadcasting. You are watching the Forum for Sandy Springs City Council District 3, organized by Rough Draft Atlanta. I'm joined by Sarah Callis, a politics reporter at Georgia Public Broadcasting, and Bob Pepelis, who reports on Sandy Springs for Rough Draft. This is not a debate, but an opportunity for the candidates to introduce themselves to the District 3 voters and share where they stand on issues. We'll get started with each candidate taking 30 seconds to introduce themselves, and you will see the timer on the screen, candidates, letting you know how much time you have remaining. And Melissa Mueller, please introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Melissa Mueller, your District 3 City Councilwoman. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you these last 4 years. I'm a retired IBM executive with extensive HOA leadership experience, and I've called Sandy Springs home for 26 years. On council, I focused on results that have mattered, funding new public safety facilities, protecting our neighborhoods, and expanding direct engagement with our residents. I look forward to continuing this work, always keeping the residents at the center of what I do.
Thank you. Tara Overzat, it's your turn.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Tara Overzet, and I have spoken with over 1,000 neighbors in Sandy Springs District 3 since I started this process. I have consistently heard a need for streamlined citizen engagement opportunities, investment in our natural resources, and citywide infrastructure improvements. As your council member, I will work to expedite the sidewalk master plan, strengthen avenues for citizen input, and protect our green spaces, including the Chattahoochee River, which is beloved to so many of us.
Thank you so much. We'll now go to our journalist panel, who will each ask two questions that both of you will answer. And candidates, you have 60 seconds to respond to each question. And the timer will let you know how much time you have remaining. And Sarah, you get the first question.
Thank you. So plans for redevelopment in the North River Shopping District have been stalled. Do you support moving the plan along? And if so, how should the city try to get back on track?
Tara, you get the first response.
Absolutely. So redevelopment is important for our city, including housing redevelopment. Sandy Springs needs more diverse housing options. I support mixed income developments and fast track permitting for projects that serve our seniors, families, and working professionals while maintaining neighborhood character. I was speaking to a resident recently, let's call her Jackie. It took her years to get permitting approved for basic renovations on her house. This was a huge impediment to her and her family. I spoke to another resident who told me that their neighbor had sold their house due to being unable to get the permits in order to renovate. So when we talk about redevelopment in our city, we need to have fast track permitting to make sure that our residents can make the updates that they need and our businesses as well. In addition, walkability is very important to the city, and it protects people and gives them a fun way to go to those different areas.
All right, thank you very much. Melissa, it's your turn to answer.
Okay, so I'll answer the question. So specific to the North End, I believe what we can do, we need to pick up, I think, where we left off. One of the things that we've talked about is creating a tax allocation district that would bring investment into that area. I also believe that as we work on the Roswell Road, North Boulevard, that will also open up some avenues. And I think we need to step back and look at why did the North End redevelopment not take place when we created the new zoning district. So I think we can step back and pause and look at that and get some other input to how to move forward. Now, we also were experienced differences in the interest rates. Those have changed. So perhaps with that and the focus on the tax allocation district, we'll be able to get those plans going.
All right, thank you very much. Bob, it's your turn to ask a question.
This may be related. What more can Sandy Springs do to successfully develop City Springs Phase 2.0 on the property the city owns?
Is that to me, Bob?
All right, Melissa, you can get the first response. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. So thanks, Bob. So yes, so I think that we can pick that up. We left the door open with our Regent partners and Morrison Fellows. As you know, Morrison Fellows were part of Alpharetta and Woodstock. We could pick that back up. We could also do another RFP. I really don't think I want to go down that route. I would like to see what other designs we can have with a new council, potentially a new mayor, if that were to occur. I think that we could do some other, maybe some incentives that we hadn't talked about. But I think that, you know, we residents really want places to go. They want to activate that district. So I would definitely look into supporting having different kinds of incentives, especially for restaurants and retail.
All right, thank you. Tara, please respond to the question.
Yes. So with increasing City Springs 2.0, when I speak to residents in District 3 right around that area, they're very much looking forward to it. City Springs itself has been a wonderful place for community engagement. The Saturday farmers markets, making sure that there's restaurants and things and for families to enjoy the movies that we do at night, the music on the lawn as well. So I'm looking forward to making sure City Springs 2.0 does get done in a quick manner. The financing issues, I imagine, are considerable, and we can make sure that happens by using citizen input and also by cooperating with different agencies to make sure that we can fund that and get it done quickly. The walkability of 2.0 is important as well to make sure that families have safe places to bring their children to walk and to bike and to make sure they can enjoy everything that Sandy Springs has to offer.
All right, thank you. We now go back to Sarah Callis to ask her second question.
A section of the Springway Trail System opened up in May. Do you support more efforts similar to the trail system to connect residents to green space and public transportation?
And Melissa will give you the first response.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely, I support that. I think that our trail and master plan needs to be accelerated. I don't know that we've actually reached out to the companies that are headquartered here in Sandy Springs. I think that could be an avenue for funding. That trailway segment that was put in is part of a first segment of a 5-mile segment. We do have one trail segment already designed, another one funded to be designed. I do think we need to look at how other ways for funding. I know that Roswell has been successful in a parks bond, done what he was not. I don't know what the residents of Sandy Springs how they would feel about that, but we do need to look at how we can accelerate it, because that plan was created in 2019 and we finally just got the first segment done. So absolutely, I would support ways to accelerate that development, but I would also want to make sure that it aligns with the other community goals and what our residents want.
All right, thank you. Tara, it's your turn.
Sure. So the Springway Trail, getting that completed should also be a priority, making sure we're connecting our family to those green spaces. And yes, funding can be tricky, and that's why we can look into grant funding from different organizations, federal and state level, and also environmental organizations that have an invested interest in making sure we do have those green spaces protected and available for families to enjoy. In addition, having those trail systems, especially as we expand them away from the original plan, we've been talking about Hammond Drive, I've heard in meetings, make sure that people have a safe way to bike. There's been at least 25 pedestrian-related crashes. That's 1 every 2 weeks in Sandy Springs District 3. The most dangerous intersection, for instance, being Roswell Road and Abernathy. So as we talk about the Springway Trail, I also would like to focus on making sure we have trails in various places and sidewalks to ensure people stay safe.
All right, thank you. Bob, you get the final question.
Yes. The T-Splosh project to widen Hammond Road between Georgia 400 and Roswell Road will begin next spring. What would you suggest to keep this plugged bottleneck from creating a potential traffic nightmare if this major east-west artery is closed?
All right, Tara, you get the first response.
I'll respond. The timer's not on.
I know.
Okay, you'll just let me know. That's totally fine. So I think that traffic calming is going to be very important in that area. The neighbors who are living on that stretch of the road on Hammond Drive, where it's going to be widened, they're concerned about road noise. They're concerned about, like you mentioned, Bob, that bottleneck happening. I think there's got to be a way in the plan to make sure whether it's a roundabout or some sort of traffic bumps or calming, so that people are not just speeding through and making it even more difficult for the residents who have been living in that neighborhood for decades already.
All right, thank you very much. Melody, I'm sorry, Melissa, I apologize.
No, no worries. We sit next to each other, so that makes sense. Yeah, so the project actually, I think there's a couple of things, Bob. The first one is there needs to be a restriping down by the connection to Roswell Road from Hammond Drive. You have 4 curb cuts plus the left turn lane. That needs to be addressed as we do the Boylston realignment project. That will help. When we also, we need to make sure that now, when you say the road will close, the road will never be closed. We don't close roads. We shut down lanes and we do, redirect traffic, but the roads will stay open during construction, as we've experienced on the Mount Vernon Highway and the Johnson Ferry Mount Vernon improvement projects. So we need to be better coordinated, I think, in some aspects when we do our construction. But the other east-west connectors should be open by the time that project gets significantly underway.
All right, thank you very much. And that's all the time we have for questions. Now, each candidate will now have 60 seconds for a closing statement. And Tara, please give your closing statement.
Sure. 7 months ago, I started this journey with a few people I knew and many more who simply believed in the vision and took a chance on me. Since then, we've knocked doors, made calls, and most importantly, we've listened. And now I want you to know this: I will always be accessible to you. You will see me in the community, and when I speak up, it will be with your voice in mind. This campaign has proven that we can build something meaningful even without the resources of City Hall, because people are ready for a new kind of leadership. If you have questions, concerns, or ideas, please reach out. And if you like what you're hearing, please join us. Help us turn out the vote and bring this vision to City Hall. You can learn more and get involved at overzat4sandysprings.com. I would love to have you join our team. Thank you
so much. Melissa, you may now give your closing statement.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. Sandy Springs is a wonderful place to call home, and I'm committed to keeping it that way. We've made real progress. New public safety facilities, expanded green space, and stronger partnerships with our neighborhoods. But there's more work ahead: replacing aging fire stations, enhancing recreation facilities, accelerating our master trail plan, which we spoke about, and protecting neighborhood character while guiding thoughtful redevelopment. I bring proven leadership, deep community roots, and a record of results, not just aspirations. If reelected, I will continue to listen, act, and ensure Sandy Springs remains strong, safe, and vibrant for every resident. I respectfully ask for your vote on November 4th. If you'd like to learn more about my campaign, you can visit my website at muellerforcitycouncil.com. Thank you so much, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the day.
I have a second clock, a clock that counts down seconds on my computer, and you both did under a minute. So thank you for that. And that's all the time we have. I want to thank the candidates and the panel for participating, and Rough Draft Atlanta for organizing the forum. Early voting begins Tuesday, October 14th, and Election Day is November 4th. I'm Donna Lowry. Thanks for tuning in.